This is Josefa with Combat Feed Media, feeding you with all things combat. I'm joined today by a special guest, Michael. We said Mike, we said Mikey, we said Michael. We didn't choose which
Yeah.
one. Let's go with Michael for now. Michael, the problem Mckinson. Michael, how are you today, sir? Day before Halloween. I know you got kids as well. Are you taking trick or treating tomorrow?
Yeah, mid half term, we're gonna go away for a couple of days a weekend, do Halloween somewhere else. But yeah, it's just been a hectic week,
Yeah.
hectic couple of weeks, but all good.
Nice to chill, especially now after tomorrow days, I guess so. Mike,
Yeah,
I'm excited for this interview, especially because from what I've seen on social media, you are someone who has, I guess, you're not shy to say how you feel on social media.
yeah.
You've voiced a lot of things. We're going to get into a few of the things that you've voiced. But first, I want to start off. Why the problem? What was the choice of problem?
See, that nickname was given to me by my father, and so I started training with the pros from probably 14 years old, 15, sparring like the local pros in the area. My dad being obviously my trainer, and he had pros at the time. And whenever I used to spar, I had to kind of develop an awkward style when I was young, sparring men, and they used to always have a problem hitting me, and that's where like the awkward southpaw came from. And they used, like my father used to always call me a problem. The pros, like the generation before me that I used to spar when I was young, they called me a problem as well. So I didn't actually take the nickname till a couple of years later when I first turned pro,
Yeah,
because I'd been in the gym called the problem for years, and that was before I knew who Adrian Broner was.
yeah.
But yeah, that's where the nickname come from a long time ago.
Would you say your style is similar to when you first kind of jumped in? Because you said you started pro straight away, so I'm assuming you learned quickly. Would you say
Yeah,
your
so
style is similar?
listen, I was born into a boxing family. I
Mm.
was had boxing gloves on in boxing gyms from 5 years old. So it was always going to be a natural transition for me, turning professional. I was always going to turn professional young. Obviously, my dad always trained me as an amateur, but obviously the amateur coaches would do my corner and things like that. So he had a stable of fighters when I was probably 14, 15. And then a few nights a week I was training with the pros, and then the other nights of the week I was training at the amateur gym. So I was kind of training like a professional from young. Me and my brother had like, we didn't have the normal childhood that most people had, but a lot of boxers are in the same boat, you know. It was boxing. We didn't have time to finish school and go out after school with friends and stuff, you know. So we had that upbringing, that strict upbringing, and me and him were always going to turn pro when we could. And I think I was 19 when I did my medicals, 20 when I had my debut. My brother Lucas was, he was a fresh 18-year-old. He was only about 6 months after me. So yeah, we've been about a while.
Okay, cool. This is a question a lot of boxers get asked. And I want to ask you specifically now because you've said that you come from a boxing family, so boxing is all you really know. So
Yeah,
let's say boxing wasn't there. What would you have done if boxing wasn't there for you?
that's mental. I did have a job for the first few years of my boxing career,
Mhm.
and then thankfully in 2017 I managed to quit work. But I was a campaign manager in a marketing company.
Um,
I wasn't any good. Um, I wasn't any good. It was always secondary to my boxing. And 2017, I won my first two titles whilst working a 9 to 5 and having a baby, a newborn at home. It was so tough. That year was so tough because it was the year I fought Ryan Martin. Then about 6 months later, I fought Colin Lyons,
mhm.
and I used to have to get up, train before work, do a full day, 9 to 5 in an office. So it wasn't like anything difficult, but then train and then get home and not really see my kid and things like that. And then after I beat Colin Lyons, I went into work on the Monday
Oh,
to an email because fight week I was slacking a little bit. My boss uh, set up a disciplinary hearing, And the next day, I went into that hearing and handed my notice in. I said, I'll never work again. And thankfully, after a bit of time, first of all, I quit work with no sponsors and no help. But as time went on and the more success I had and stuff like that, I've lucky enough to have been able to be a full-time boxer, which I'm blessed.
I mean, it's the dream a lot of people do have, especially when I was younger as well. Being the boxer was always the dream. So I guess, yeah, I mean, even with working, it's like you're in a job, you're in a 9 to 5, whatever, but what you're passionate, especially I can only think of a boxer from a boxer's mind, but when you
Mm.
have boxing in your mind, working in anywhere, no matter what your job is, you'll always have that thing, I want to be a boxer. I want to be, that's all I really want to be. You know what I mean?
Pe- People that knew me as a child from very young, if they was to say, what are you going to be when you grow up? It was always, I'm going to be a professional boxer. That was always my dream job when I grew up. Now, if I knew half of the stuff I do now, I would tell my younger self to learn a trade. You know, it's a brutal game, this boxing, but I wouldn't be without it for the world, you know.
Definitely. I mean, it was your life, so I get where
The
you're
ups
coming
and the downs, and I've seen the dirt of professional boxing. I've seen the bright lights of professional boxing, the top and the very bottom. So yeah, I've kind of seen it all.
It's funny you said that. You voiced in the past how you kind of have that thing where you were saying the UK was kind of waiting for you to lose. UK was
Yeah.
waiting for you to lose and ready to just push you away. Why do you think the UK had that feeling? Why do you think that the boxing world in the UK, why did they have that feeling towards you?
Um, because I haven't got much knockout. I do punch. I
Mhm.
do punch a lot harder than people probably give me credit for. My boxing skills in the past have outshone my punching ability and things like that. But people like to see knockouts, and I wasn't giving people knockouts for a while. After the Ortiz fight, I knocked a few out in a row just to prove a point.
Okay.
But I don't know. People that know their boxing know that I'm one of the best welterweights we have, and I have been for a long time, and I still am now. Um, but because I don't have that promoter anymore, and because I'm getting like pushed aside and that, people are very quick to forget about me. I'm still active. I'm still training. I'm still in the gym. I'm still going away as a sparring partner and things like that. I have done this year. But the Ortiz fight is where it all changed for me. I left Texas with so much reassurance. I handled myself very well in the fight. In the media, they all love me in the States. They really do. The media, the boxing people, and the fans and stuff. And then that was my third fight on my matchroom contract, and I I had messages after the fight like reassurance things are going to be okay, and things wasn't really. Um, I didn't really get much up. I had to fight 4 or 5 times for little money on some good cards, but not for great money.
Mm.
Just to build my record back up. And then I got an opportunity for the IBO last year, and I was away. I was training with Boots Ennis in America, in Philadelphia, and sparring with him and in Bosey's gym, and things were going. It was a very long camp that got delayed a few times, but I trained very hard and I was in amazing condition. And I flew home from America 10 days before the fight with the flu,
Wow.
and it was it was kind of like the fight would have never got rescheduled if I was to pull out. I knew it wouldn't have because no one's ever done me favors in
This
boxing. You
this
know,
was the Mbenge fight, right?
the Mbenge fight, yeah, no one's ever done me favors in boxing. So if I was to pull out, it wouldn't have got rescheduled. It was an IBO title, which would have probably led to great things for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I thought if I could just shift this cold, I'll be okay. I've had a great camp. Look at my sparring partners. Look what I've put myself through over the last 5 months. And fight week came. The week before fight week, it's trying to shift this cold. I couldn't breathe. I felt weak. fight week coming, I started to breathe better again, and then I made weight fine. But then you don't really know because all of the hard training had finished.
Yeah.
Like it finished, it was just making weight and things like that. And it took me to get into the ring, have a good first round, and then the bell went, and I walked back to the corner like every bit of energy in my whole body was just sucked out of me, you know.
Mm,
And I boxed 11 rounds on empty, and people that know me and people that know their boxing know it wasn't really me in there. And
mm,
that takes nothing away from my opponent because he was very fit. He, you know, like he had a game plan and it worked for him, but it wasn't me in there.
mm,
And you can either look at that performance and think of two things. There was something wrong with Michael Mckinson, or Michael Mckinson is finished.
yeah.
And our team knew what happened, and I didn't come out with excuses straight away because I didn't want to be that guy. But when things haven't worked out since then, I will be that guy because that's the reason I lost. 9 times out of 10, I beat Mbenge. If
Mm,
I ever got that offered to me again, I will beat him, and I know that. But since then, I took it quite bad because I thought everyone's going to think I'm finished, and that's why I think you can look 7 weeks after the fight. I I boxed again in a small leisure centre where it all started for me in little leisure centres for no money, right? But just to get back to winning ways. And I had an opponent that his visa got denied. I think he was like 18 and 3. His visa got denied fight week, and they didn't have anyone else except Ryan Frost, who was at the time, I think he was a 2 and 3 guy, which I shouldn't have been in the ring with him. But for me and like my mental state at the time, I thought, you know what, I will. I'll get a win, and then we'll crack on in the new year. And I haven't been able to get anything this year. It's been mad. It really has been mad. I've kept myself fit. I've been away from my family many times this year in the hope we'll get a call and we'll be ready. Just last month, I was in France sparring David Papeau before his IBF final eliminator in Australia. So I have kept myself healthy, and it's just been a difficult year.
The way you just touched on that, it kind of makes sense now when you say the UK kind of had that stigma towards you.
Mm.
Where, because after that Mbenge fight, I didn't see one interview of you mentioning this cold. You didn't mention the issue you had. Was
You,
that
you know what's
because?
funny? I've got a video on my phone. I think I might have sent it to my partner, right? The week before the fight, and it's me talking, and it's me saying, "Look at me 7 days before a fight. I can't even breathe. Look at the state of me, and watch next week when I post this video after I've won." Right? And I've kept the video. I wouldn't release it. If anyone wants to see it, I can send it as proof. But I wouldn't release it to be that guy. That is very
Mm,
petty. But like that is the truth of it.
yeah.
You
But
know.
it kind of makes sense for but with what I'm saying about the UK kind of having that feeling towards you because was it a case of like you knew regardless of if you mention it or don't mention it, a negative something negative will come. If you had said it, they would have been like, oh, excuses. If you hadn't
Straight
have said it,
away,
you're finished.
what goes through my head is the David Hay and his toe situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that loses and then straight away is saying like making up excuses and stuff because the chances are people ain't gonna believe you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way I felt after that fight was like everybody thinks I'm done. Everyone thinks I'm fit. It was tough. That loss to Mbenge was 20 times harder to take than the Ortiz loss.
Yeah.
You know,
Due to
but
the caliber of the opponent or just due to you within yourself anyway.
I yeah, when I fought Ortiz, that was the best of me in there, and I really proved a lot, and I was very well conditioned. But it was my first fight at that level, so it was a big step up. But the Mbenge fight, I I am better than Mbenge. I was the home fighter. Um, I was the favourite.
It was your
Uh,
fight to win. It was your fight to win.
exactly. Although he was ranked a lot higher than me, like on the box rec rankings, it was my fight to win, and yeah, it was just a very tough one to take. It was very, very tough to take.
Okay, the resume. Look, okay, you said the last fight was in December
Yeah,
last year, so you've been inactive for almost a year now coming up.
yeah.
The resume is there, the ranking is there, and the
Mm.
ability is there.
But
Why
the
would you say you
rankings
think the
have been,
phones? Yeah,
I've been losing rankings with inactivity,
yeah,
which is difficult. But the fact is, they all know, all the other welterweights know that I'm still probably the biggest threat in the welterweight division. So they're not going to want to fight me. It was like on my way up, I was avoided on my way up until I got the Chris Congo opportunity on 6 weeks' notice. It was until then, and then I had the three fights under the Matchroom banner. They're the only times I've ever been looked after.
yeah. That's
And
exactly.
even then, two of the three fights on the Matchroom banner was in America on Golden Boy cards.
Yeah,
I've done things the hard way on my way up, and I'm avoided again now. And it's like they all know that I've got the style to probably make good fighters look bad,
yeah.
make these favoured fighters and these well-liked fighters look bad. So they're not going to want to fight me.
There you go. That answered my question. My question actually was the fact that why do you think the phone's not ringing? If you have all this, why is the phone not ringing? And
Yeah,
you answered that
but
question.
but
So it's,
on the same breath, without a promoter, things are so hard.
mm,
Um, which is mad because people know I think I've won 5 or 6 titles in the past, lots of good wins and things like that. I've only had a promoter for 3 fights out of 29 fights, and two of them wasn't even on my promotion at the time. So look what I've done without a promoter, right? It's like it's actually crazy. I've been the B side many times in my career and beat the favoured guy. I've been the underdog many times, all without a promoter and without backing. So imagine what I could do
with
with
someone behind you.
backing, you know.
So what's your message to these promoters? What's your message to any of them? What would you
But
say?
I don't know. Like when I first turned pro for a long time, I wasn't a big ticket seller,
Yeah.
but now I'm probably the most liked fighter in my city.
Hmm.
When I fought on the a co-league Billum Smith undercard, it was on Sky. I gave Sky quite a lot of ticket money. For me, it was a lot of ticket money. I sold quite a lot of tickets, so it's not like a ticket issue anymore. But I don't, is it because they want to see knockouts? And my record has kind of proven that I've only got, I think, 5 knockouts in my career or something, but I can punch.
Yeah.
I was just moving through the levels after every fight, fighting better and tougher guys. So
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what it is, but if you don't want, if you want to steer clear of me from your fighters, sign me. I've got, I've got plenty of achievements to come in my career. Like I'm 31, I'm in my prime right now, but I'm being ignored, and I have inactivity. But I'm in the gym all year round. I'm in the gym all year round. That's what's probably made it a little bit tougher this year because I've been raring to go.
Mm.
In the summer, I was weighing, I think I was only like 156 pound, ready to go. If I had a phone call, I was kind of close to fight weight and stuff like that. So yeah, it's hopefully things change.
Hopefully.
I know there's a lot of like my name is floating about now, and there's a few people we're in talks with to be able to get me active, and stuff. So who knows what's around the corner?
Well, that's the message to promoters. What about these opponents that you'd say are kind of dodging you? You don't they don't want you to make them look bad. What would your message be to them?
I don't really know because we all know why. We all know that none of them really want to fight me. Um, so 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 it is tough because promoters don't talk about me because they don't want me to be linked with their fighters. Like they don't want me to be relevant, so then people think, oh, Mckinson, why don't he fight him and stuff like that. So that's why I'm kind of ghosted this year. But I'm always only one decent win away from where I once was
Back up there, yeah.
because I am an established name. People know who I am. You ain't got to build me. Um, so I am only one win away. I've just got to. Well, I've been very, very impatient this year, and it hasn't really worked in my favour. So, but tough times don't last, do they? I stay healthy. Wait for that opportunity. When I beat Chris Congo, I had I had COVID, and it was the day I was allowed out. The first day I was allowed out. I'd not trained for 2 weeks. I'd been in bed. I had a phone call. Will you fight Chris Congo in 6 weeks? Got my running trainers on. Boom. And that's what changed everything for me. Beat him up, and that's what changed everything for me. So,
The fans
uh,
want to do it again. That's all they've
and
got.
and that's how I feel again now. Like me against the world. Let's prove to them again. Lots of doubters now. I lost last year, um, but that's how I came up in my career. The
Yeah.
doubters every time, every fight, proved them wrong, and that's what I feed off of. So, I can't wait to show everybody and prove everyone wrong again.
Well, I guess
You
that's
know?
I guess that's the joy in that you're back where you were first most dangerous.
Yeah,
You were first more dangerous. So I guess it's only up from now. It's only up from now.
yeah,
I want to talk Ortiz fight.
yeah.
Did you learn anything from that fight?
You know, so much. But I learned so much from both of the America fights, right? So I went to Los Angeles in I think the March of 2022 to fight Vergil Ortiz. I went over there the day all of my supporters were on planes out, 4 days before the fight, 5 days before the fight. I came out for my California State Medical, and Ortiz had pulled out. It had been linked online. I didn't know. I was like, wow, I've got all these people. I need to make my US debut. I said yes to 7 or 8 different names, good fighters. Alexis Rocha, Blair Cobbs, Rincon brother. One was 6'3". Welterweight. There was loads of different shapes and sizes, different opponents. I said yes to in the space of 48 hours. In the end, I fought a negative southpaw. Um, whilst I was training to fight Ortiz for that. What terrible fight, but I won, and everybody in boxing's respect over there because how I handled everything. A few months down the line, it got rescheduled, and I'd done the same thing. And look, the fights in America, it's like everything times 100 with everything. So
Mm.
the media times 100, and like after a fight, there's hundreds of cameras in your face and stuff like that. Um, but I learned a lot then. Uh, in the fight, I shared 9 competitive rounds with, you know, a superstar, really. Not like I won the first round, I won a couple of the other rounds, I cut him. Um, I entered the ring with a booze, hostility, booze. I couldn't hear my music.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Right at the start, I saw you, the smirk you made when they were doing the announcements. When they went boo, you smirked so loud. I heard it was like the room was shaking.
Do you know what's special about that? I lost. You can never be proud of a loss, right? But I left the ring in a lot of pain. It was a hip injury, like in a lot of pain. As I was waddling up the tunnel, I had a standing ovation from everybody. I changed them boos to cheers,
Yeah.
right? I walked into the post-fight press conference. All of the media team stood up, clapped me. It was like I had won, and that was from a loss. So like I left Texas with so much reassurance, and it just hasn't worked out that way. It's mental. Um, like I learned so much, and it was to come back and build from that. And I was, and I thought, you know what, I've had to step down a level now. I started knocking people out, stopping people, and um, then I fought. I had 2 in a row. Then I fought a really, really tough guy from, I want to say Ghana or something, Musa Lawson. Beat him every round. And then I fought Mbenge, and obviously
Yeah,
I
well,
spoke about what happened. So like I have been knocking people out. Like two of my last three wins I've stopped.
yeah, that says a lot.
And so yeah.
There's obviously talks now. I want to get your opinion on this since you shared the ring with both of them in sparring and the fight.
Yeah.
The Boots versus Vergil Ortiz talk. First of all, what's your prediction and what differences do they have?
I guess there's not many people that have shared the ring with both of them.
Yeah.
So so obviously my voice matters a little bit. But
It matters more than a lot of people
yeah,
because,
but you gotta think when you're prepared to fight somebody and when you're just going to spar somebody, it's really different.
yeah, of course.
Um I've like Boots was big when I sparred him. Big. Um but Boots is the most talented guy I've ever been in the ring with. Like over in Bosey's gym, they do 4 minute rounds. I think maybe 20-second, 25-second rest. It is brutal. You're there to earn respect, which I did. They were hard rounds every sec. I think I sparred Boots, I think 3 or 4 times, and then I sparred other people around the gym and stuff. And by the end of the few weeks I was there, I felt like one of them. The first day I felt like an enemy. By the end of it, I felt like one of them. So it was a very, very I got a lot from that camp, you
Yeah.
know. I really did, although I lost, but I got a lot from that camp. But when I went to fight Ortiz, I was so well prepared, and I'm completely different in sparring than I am in the ring.
Okay.
I
Mm.
raised my game, so it's hard to compare the two. They're both unbelievable athletes, really are. I feel like
There you go.
Boots
This is for
is
the clip. This is for the clip.
yeah.
We're gonna get the
So I feel
prediction.
like Boots is looking better and better, but Ortiz has had the better wins on his record in terms of opposition.
Yeah.
Um, that may be that may be the decider at the moment. The like experience, like the Madrimov win, and you know, like they are the Borchek win as well. Um, that's the decider. I think Boots has kind of looked insane. He looked insane, and he's definitely more talented.
Okay.
Like I've never been in a ring with anyone, but in terms of the experience at that level at the moment, I feel like Ortiz is just it like in charge. And if if that ever happens and Ortiz wins, it makes me look better. So and Team Ortiz, both of them really looked after me, but Team Ortiz are very decent people, and he's spoke nothing but highly of me ever since the fight.
Mm.
He just gets interviewed, you know. So but yeah, I'll sit on the fence for now. I will
No.
say,
So we're not getting an answer today.
no. I feel like Boots still kind of needs a dominant like name. Is that fair to say?
Um, I mean, this was his first time in middleweight. I think
Junior middleweight, one
junior
five
middleweight.
four.
Yeah, 154 junior middleweight.
And he looked
And the way he did
unbelievable.
Lima in the first round, I don't know.
But who is Lima? That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
he is like incredible, and that takes nothing away from Boots. I feel like he is insane. I've shared rounds with him. I know how good he is. But the Borchet win and the Madrimov win are way better win, although they were very close, are kind of better wins, I think.
You're the one with the experience. You fought them
But
both.
I would rather beat Madrimov Borcek on a split than
Yeah.
fight Lima. That
Yeah.
and that's not and that's not to say Boots ain't going to clear up the division because he's actually incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I guess that wasn't. It is a bit hard to say. You can't. I get what you. I
Yeah.
get what you mean. I get what you mean.
So
It is a bit hard to say.
that's me sitting on the fence, but kind of not.
Nah, I understand. I guess there's a lot of people that probably would be on the fence for that one.
It's hard to say at the moment, I think. I think Ortiz is a little bit in front just on them two wins.
Yeah, all right, that's fair then.
But in terms of ability, I feel like Boots is very, very special.
Definitely. Okay, well, I think just to kind of finish this one off, actually, I want to talk about your brother first. I know
Yeah.
Lucas is fighting. Is his USA debut, right?
Yeah.
It's can't be.
Do you know, it's been good. It's been good. It's his birthday today. So at the time
Birthday,
at,
Lucas.
at the time we're filming this, October 30th, it's his 29th birthday. There's no cake, no celebrations. But it's funny because I'm the only uh fighter from my area to ever headline in America. And I know it's on a smaller scale and stuff, but he's still headlining a show in America, you know. So
Yeah, he's doing well.
um yeah, so it's good for him. Like Lucas in the gym, he's always been better than me. Like I've said it millions of times to people, and that's honest. Like I spar him week in, week out, and he he beats me up, you know. So
Mhm.
he's a he's a very good fighter. We've not seen half of what he can do. His last loss, he took a B-side fight against Elliot Wow and lost on points. Um, the scoring wasn't great. It was a close fight, but the scoring wasn't great. But Lucas was always competing at a weight he was too big at. It used to be hard work to get down, and his first two losses came because of that. Really, very very close losses, but um, because he shouldn't have been that weight. Now
Yeah,
he's moved up to welterweight, and he's making it healthy and stuff like that. I feel like there's going to be so much success coming from Lucas Ballingall in the future because we all know how good he is, and nobody's seen unless you've sparred him or been in the gym watching him spar. You know how good Lucas Ballingall is.
yeah.
You know because he's beat up many a top fighter, but no one's really seen what he's capable of in the ring yet.
Mhm.
Um, he's obviously been English champion, IBF European champion, so he has won titles, but that's just a fraction of what he can do.
Yeah,
And that's I'm gonna sound biased being a big brother, but just asked anybody's sparred, you know, like, and it is kind of like a thing like when's he gonna do what he can do in the gym in the ring?
yeah. Okay.
But I feel like that's coming now. He's at welterweight, and he things ain't so much a killer to get down in weight, and of course that's going to affect your performance and stuff. So yeah, I feel like he's at a healthy weight, and he's going to achieve a lot.
Hopefully, well, we'll be watching it. We'll be watching it. Well, I think we're coming up to around time out now. So just before you leave, next steps. Let's see what we got coming.
I don't know. I don't feel like we've had like a highlight reel,
Yeah,
something you can caption.
that's what I'm saying. We need the mention. I tried
I
with the
mean,
prediction, but you were on the fence with that. So I need something.
I am.
What's next? What's your message anyway? Just to
Listen,
the boxing world.
it's been a very, very tough year, right? It really has. Like, I've got children,
Mhm.
you know, I've got a life and stuff like that, and nobody's offering me any fights this year. Um, but as soon as that time comes, listen, I've been in that position again where when an opportunity comes, I take it and I completely change my life. I'm about to do that a second time. As soon as I get one opportunity, that's all I need. That is really all I need, and I'm very experienced now. I've been about a long time. I keep myself healthy. I live a good life. So so yeah, all I need is that one opportunity, and when it comes, I'll be all right for the rest of my career.
Let's go. Michael Mckinson, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.